Russian government troops have withdrawn from the streets of Moscow after a short-lived revolt led by Yevgeny Prigozhin and his Wagner troops. The rebellion weakened President Vladimir Putin just as his forces faced a counteroffensive in Ukraine. The fate of Yevgeny Prigozhin and his troops remains uncertain, but under the agreement that ended the crisis, Prigozhin will go into exile in Belarus without facing prosecution. The rebellion exposed vulnerabilities in Russia's security and military forces and led to the withdrawal of some of Russia's best forces from the battlefield. The Wagner forces' rapid advance caused damage to Russian aerospace forces, even downing a helicopter, multiple helicopters, and a military communications plane. The rebellion may create opportunities for Ukraine's counteroffensive. And the agreement also stipulates that Wagner troops who did not support the revolt will be offered contracts with the Russian military, placing them under the control of the military brass that Prigozhin sought to oust. These events have damaged Vladimir Putin's reputation and exposed the weaknesses of his regime. The rebellion was short-lived due to lack of expected support from Russian security services, and Yevgeny Prigozhin lost his nerve. The deal ending the crisis was portrayed as a display of Vladimir Putin's wisdom on state-controlled television, and the revolt was seen by some as planned in advance, and the U.S. had intelligence of Prigozhin building up forces near the Russian border, which conflicts with his claim that it was in response to an attack on his camps in Ukraine. Alright, so next up we got YouTube and specifically the future of gaming on YouTube. And I'm not talking about streaming games, okay? I'm actually talking about playing games on YouTube. So Google is reportedly exploring online games as a potential source of income for YouTube. The video hosting platform has invited employees to test a new product called Playables, which allows users to play games directly on YouTube regardless of the device they are using. So users can access the games through a web browser, on the YouTube website, or via the app on, say, Android or iOS devices. And while details on the available games are right now limited, there's a game called Stack Bounce, which it says it's an ad-supported arcade game. And so this move aims to generate additional revenue for YouTube amid a decline in advertising spending. So unlike Google's unsuccessful Stadia game streaming service, what may be called Playables leverages YouTube's large existing audience to attract users. So this concept is similar to Netflix's gaming initiative, which right now offers casual games to paying subscribers on mobile devices and is reportedly expanding to include TV games using phones as controllers. Alright, last up, tech billionaires Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are apparently gearing up for a cage fight. Never thought I would say those words before. This has generated a lot of attention and publicity. The idea originated from a failed SpaceX rocket launch carrying a Facebook-owned satellite in 2016. So since then, there has been a sort of rivalry between the two billionaires, with Elon Musk criticizing social media apps like Instagram and Zuckerberg staying away from Twitter. Now, despite the social media banter and even UFC President Dana White's claim that, hey, they're both serious, right now it does remain uncertain if the fight will actually take place. God, I hope it does. The proposed fight seems to be maybe a diversion from other news going on. So like Elon Musk's reputation has suffered kind of recently, and Facebook or Meta or whatever you want to call it, they recently announced cutting off news access in Canada due to a new law. Although the fight may attract some attention, it does highlight the vanity and narcissism that some might say are kind of around the two guys. As far as speculating on the outcome, if these two sluggers actually go at it, it is unclear who would win, given that both are I guess you could say non-athletes. Elon Musk is like larger, I think, but apparently, and this is something I literally just learned today, Mark Zuckerberg he has amateur experience in jiu-jitsu. Like, he's actually been training, I guess, recently in, like, jiu-jitsu tournaments. Ultimately, the fight appears to be a spectacle meant to capture public interest in the attention-driven tech industry. That being said, would I pay top dollar to watch these two guys fight? Absolutely.